Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Video you're going to see today is me and a buddy replacing the cams on my 2021 890 Adventure R. I got all wrapped up in the cam hate and got nervous about them failing. And I have my bike apart to replace something else and decided to check it and looked at the cams, thought they were really bad. It's kind of hard to see with that cage still on it. And decided they needed replacing. So I got a buddy that said he was going to help me out. And we got her done. It's a bit of a word to the wise here to not get too wrapped up on Facebook groups and all that. Because your mind gets going, you just think that, surely I'm one of the people that have to fail. Let's get on here on something fun. Now, number one reason, only one of these, is what other bike, when you drive comfortably on a highway, and do that. That's why I choose this one, even if it does have stuff going wrong with it. Even in that real loose, shaley stuff, able to get back going. Anyways, where was I? I ended up getting all wrapped up in that. Changed them. They were a tiny bit wore, but I don't think they needed to be changed. You'll see them in the video. This stuff is loose. Yeah, they ended up not being too bad. I am happy I changed them though, because I have a trip coming up. Planning on riding 13,000 kilometers or so from Toronto to Mexico. So I definitely want the bike to be in perfect shape for that. Wonder if I can make it through here. Oh yeah. So I'm happy I did get them changed. Another thing I should note is it's not a perfect how-to video. I'm not Chuck Harder, neither is my buddy Sean. He's done a couple before. He's a lot more knowledgeable than I am. I'm sure he'll chime in if anyone has questions. Yeah. What other bike can you do this with? That's this big. Yeah, so anyways, hope you guys enjoy the video. It's my first attempt at this kind of video. And I learned a lot in the editing process with this. It's my first time using a video editor and not just the GoPro app. So any comments are appreciated, ways I can improve. And again, if you have any questions, I'll send Big Sean the link. And I'm sure he can answer them down in the comments. Anyways, thanks for checking out the video. Cheers. So we got her all tore down, and what else did you do? Top dead center here?
Not yet, but I took the plug out of this plug that uses the 14 mil Allen hex socket to access this right here that takes a 15 mil. And we are going to turn the engine only counterclockwise.
There you go. See the war valves in there.
Look.
Nice.
Spark plug number 1. Primo.
Nice.
Cool. I'm a lot slow today. That's where you find the slot in your crank to lock it in top dead center.
Ah.
Put our probe in here. You might be able to see the crank. See, there's the crank.
Look at that.
So when we turn it over by hand, you'll see there'll be 2 slots that line up.
Okay.
One for top dead center on cylinder 1 and one for cylinder 2. Because there's 2 top dead centers on this motor.
Nice.
We're going to find top dead center on cylinder number 1. So I like to go with a zip tie down into the cylinder. Then we turn it counterclockwise. And we don't really need to be doing this because we're just tearing the engine apart anyway, but I'm just going to do it.
So what's it doing with the zip tie?
The zip tie is sitting on top of the piston, and it's just a easy way to get yourself to top dead center. So we're watching the tie wrap come up until it stops. That's pretty much going to be, just got a ways to go yet. We'll probably be very close to, here, you hold that, and I'm going to turn it and see if you see a slot.
Okay.
They're going like this, basically. Yeah. It's 285 degrees of crank rotation on a 360 degree circle, right? And I think that it must cause vibration. So KTM has put a balancer shaft in here. And we, not only do we have to time these 2 cams at 2 different top dead centers, we also have to time this balancer to the cams. So that reference line right there, when I put it back together, that line has to be flat. There's an actual gauge for it, but
I see.
I don't have it. So you see that line? Yeah. That's your reference line. So you go down like this here, and it's got to be lined up when you're at top dead center of number 1. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a vibration. You might not feel it, but it'll probably take your valves out. And I suspect everybody's got these theories why these cams are wearing out, and it could be bad cams, it could be the aggressive ramps on them. But it could also be vibration. I don't know. No one really knows, but that's it. Now we can tear it down. We're going to tear that down. We're going to pull those cams out. So this is your cam chain tensioner.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what failed on my N90 down in Wyoming.
Oh, so that's what got it.
Yep. So mine backed off, chain skipped a couple teeth, and then the engine wouldn't run. And I only tried for a second, and 20 hours later, I get the thing back to the truck.
Oh, 22. Right on.
That's pro level right there.
Yeah. There. Sorry, Sean, I'm not much help when I'm filming. I'll give you half the money we make from the videos. That's it.
Okay, but that's on video?
Yeah.
That $5?
Oh, I'll be so happy if we make $5.
Yeah. There you go. So there's your cam chain tensioner.
Okay, so that was it, letting loose?
Yeah. We're not reusing this one, but if you were to reuse it, put it in the soft jaw vise. And I usually can do this by hand, but so there is a spec on this, but me being a true redneck, I just go like that. So this is spring loaded and it's got a ratchet in it. So when you put that back in the bike up against your cam chain, you take a tool and you push on this, and effectively what you're going to do is release it.
Okay.
That puts you, so when it's up against the chain, it won't come all the way out. It'll come out the spring has the correct amount of pressure for cam chain tension. So that's cool. You'll find out when we start doing the shimming, you got to do this. You got to sometimes take this apart a couple of times and put it back together. One more. That tie wrap out. We can tight. Okay, that's enough of you. All right.
All the bolts same length?
Yep.
Nice.
So there's your balancer.
Oh.
So that's a counterweight that counterbalances. There must be a vibration to do with the 285-degree cams.
Okay.
So here's your cams. And you know what? If we take this apart, we might find your cams aren't all that bad. But we're about to find out.
Yeah.
Can't believe how much I've learned today. Truck harders from my hometown. Actually, they don't look that bad, man.
Oh, shit.
They looked worse in pictures.
They did. Let's see here.
I was worried about that. If you lived local to me, I would have taken it apart first. She's got quite a dip right here, but they're not that bad.
Okay.
We can actually compare that to your new cams.
Well, and I don't know, before this big trip, I'm happy to know it's good anyway. Had to set them, so
Yeah.
I'm not bothered.
So, just so you know,
Yeah.
your cams are here. They push down these levers, which open your valves. And how we set valve clearance is the shim right here. In case you've never done it. This is a shim. If we're lucky, we can read it, but we can't. So we will measure that with the micrometer.
All right. You brought a good micrometer?
Good enough.
Okay. Mine, I need a new one.
Mine's a Power Fist.
Yeah.
Available at Princess Auto.
That's what I was going to go
Accurate within a foot. So, that's very interesting, man. Are you planning on sending these cams to KTM for warranty?
Well, if they're not terrible, then I probably won't. I'll just,
because I don't think they're terrible, but you're going to run this bike a long time, so.
Yeah. And like I said, $1,000 for parts isn't that bad.
No. It's a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Let's take a look down your piston here.
All right.
Fortunately, I can't do a leak down test because my leak down detector doesn't have the right adapter. There we go. There's the top of your piston. I don't know what that stuff is. That's interesting. Flakes of something sitting on it. Might have been when we pulled the plugs out. Might have been a bit of debris.
So what do we do about that?
Leave it in there. It's just a aluminum.
Okay. Don't try and, like, we're trying to blow it out doing it.
No, it won't hurt anything anyway.
Okay.
It looks like it's aluminum. If it was a circlip or end of a spark plug or something, well, there we go. This one you won't see because the piston's at top dead center, so we won't see as much. So there's a little bit of flakes of stuff on there.
They're mint?
They're mint.
Hmm.
They're extremely perfect. Like there's no reason to change them.
All right.
So there's my yellow mark, top dead center number 1. And there's your dot. And I don't know what that, I guess you could take a picture of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's what gives you the part number
I
of your
think so,
failed
yeah.
cam. Yeah, show these to all the yahoos on the KTM forums. Like, it's not, yeah, I don't think that's the end of the world on this cam. Some there.
Yeah. A little bit.
That's
but
where it
nothing.
rubs against that follower.
Yeah.
So, let's get your new cams out.
All right.
Job here.
Mm-hmm.
Without replacing cams, I would write down the original clearances, compare it to the spec. If it's out, then I correct it and put what shim I corrected it with, and then 30,000 kilometers down the road, you bring this out again. Okay, check it again. What's
Oh,
moved?
nice.
What's moved? You know,
That's handy.
shows indication of wear.
Yeah.
As your valve's going up and down all the time, it starts to wear around the seat or the valve, and the valve gets closer to the cam and closes up the clearance.
Okay.
That's why a clean air filter is really important. Because if you get dirt coming in here, it starts to sandblast your valve and you lose clearance. I did a 1090 recently, and the poor guy put a Rottweiler air intake on and didn't tighten it down, and he rode for a month or two with dust coming in.
Jeez.
And he had zero clearance on the intake. His exhaust were in spec, so that told me that dirt's running through the intake. And it got out through it. By the time I got out the exhaust, it didn't affect the exhaust, but it sure affected the intake. So by looking at 4 valves that were completely out of spec, then I started looking at his air filter and I'm like, dude, you don't have this clipped on right. That's your problem. And you could see dust. You could see dust coming in through the throttle bodies.
Yeah.
I don't want to mention his name, but his name's.
Oh no. All right, let's get these things.
And the problem when you get it zero clearance on these things is you can't measure preload, so your cam might be holding the valves partially open. That's why you get hard starting on motocross bikes.
Okay.
You've seen that in 4-strokes that don't start?
Yeah.
That's because the valves have worn up into the cams, and the cams are holding the valves open at all times, just a little bit, so it doesn't build compression. Yeah, they're very much the same, but they might be a better design. Let's just say they are.
Yeah. Is it same part number? 0306. No, they're different numbers, I think.
Good.
163. Yeah. So I'm getting the good ones.
Let's just tell yourself that.
Yeah. 21s are supposed to be good. This is a 21.
So almost every camshaft I've ever looked at, they cast the whole camshaft in one piece. This is a shaft, and they press these lobes on.
Huh.
And I'm no engineer, but I don't know if I like that as much as the traditional way of doing things. They're all pressed on, or screwed on,
Oh,
or you can see
interesting.
some, yeah.
Yeah.
Where most cams that I've ever seen, I haven't seen millions, but I've seen a couple hundred, they're all cast as one piece. So these could potentially spin maybe. I don't know. Weird.
Yeah, it's
Sheet of paper there.
Okay.
So this is cylinder number 1, which is your left side. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 2 readings. So I put the new cam in. Here's our spec. 0.005 to 0.0079. So that's 0.006 to 0.008 basically.
okay.
Sorry, we're doing intake. What am I talking about? It's 0.004 to 0.006.
Okay.
3959, 4 and 6. So I'm going to go over here, lay the cam in. I'm going to start with my spec. The tightest spec is number 4. So we have 4 thou gauge. This is we'll check this after everything's torqued down, but this should give me a pretty good reading. So 4 thou fits in there too easy. So holding pressure down, 5 is perfect. So we got a 5 and a 6. So we're gonna write 006 and 005 in that piece of paper.
Okay. So
So that'll be, this is cylinder 1.
yeah.
We will say 005 5.
Write it right in
no,
there?
005, yep, and 006.
Okay.
So when you look at this, the intake is 0.004 to 0.006, and the exhaust is 0.06 to 0.008. Why do you think that is? Why is this gap bigger than that gap? It's hotter.
Hotter? Oh,
Yep, so the
there you go.
valves get longer when they get hot.
Okay.
So your clearance gets
So they
you need more
So they
clearance.
expand more.
They expand more, so you need
Okay.
a little more clearance because they go long when they get hot because they got the exhaust gas in it. This is intake. You know what? I'm doing this backwards. Let's redo that whole video. I'm going the wrong way, dude.
Oh.
That one I like. That one I don't like. So I'm going to take that cam out. Set this here. Get
So
this
that
one.
chain just sits there?
Yep. You can't fall in or anything. It's all good. So take this. And we lift this guy out of the way like that. And then we go like that, and there's our shim. And we need to go one smaller in order to get the clearance we want. Zero that out, and then we'll measure this shim. So this shim is 2.45. So I want 2.4. Well, they make a 4.4. I'll try it. So now the shim is in there. We get very careful not to drop it in the motor because that would create an afternoon of fun. So then, this right out of the way. Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, there we go. So we dropped two
I
sizes.
don't think we're lined up here.
What's that?
Do you got to be top dead center?
Well, we're close enough.
Okay, because it's up here, your mark.
Yeah, it's all right.
Okay.
As long as it's not on the beginning of the ramps. There, so that's fine. So we got 6 and 6 on the exhaust right now.
Okay.
If you want to write that down.
I was saying, like, if we have it like that, wouldn't that be exhaust
Right.
that way and take this way?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll go 006, 006.
Yep. And then the intake, my range is 4 to 6. If I didn't read the internet, I wouldn't have wouldn't even think of ordering cams on this.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with reading the internet.
Fucking internet. Getting us paranoid.
To the camshaft thing, I was like, I can't look at this anymore. It's just too negative.
Oh, I had to get out of it too because they're just. Never seen so many motorcyclists that seem to hate motorcycle companies.
Well, KTM.
People just love to hate.
I like
online,
to
man.
think that KTM and Harley Davidson have something in common. People love to hate them.
Yeah.
Let's face it, we look like we're pretty religious because how many KTMs do we all own?
Yeah. Well, there's
We
another
crank
one
them.
there. I do feel like they're the best.
Yep.
And, I'm not brand loyal at all. I would
Right.
happily ride something else if I thought it was better. And it doesn't mean it's perfect. I'm not lying when I say, though, if that Stark, it is better all around. That is going to be the next one, but I can't go for 8 hours on it yet. So,
Right.
and when that comes around,
I think it's because you work in the hydro-related field that you're biased towards it.
you know what? It's one of those things I wonder if just because it was so new and different, I'm so excited about it. It might be a novelty thing.
Yeah, you know what I've learned is I used to be that latest and greatest as soon as it comes out guy, and I realize that sometimes that burns you.
Yeah.
Or not really burn you, like my borescope that I keep talking about. The first one I bought was 15 years ago. I was in the soggy boot and I swamped my CR250 four-stroke.
Yeah.
Like swamped it and had to push it out full of water. And everybody was, yeah, you're going to have to tear it down. You have to rebuild it. And at the time, I didn't really know how to rebuild a motocross four-stroke engine. I didn't know. It was like, ooh, split the cases and all that. So what I did was I bought a borescope for $400 through work.
Oh, okay.
And I went in, I took out every cover off I could get, down through the spark plug holes, and I made a little boiler pump with a long hose on. I just went in there and I flushed everything out, filled it up with diesel, drained it, flushed it, ran it, went in, looked everywhere, no dirt left. I think that bike's still running. It's on its third owner.
Nice.
After me. So, on this side, the 3 thou doesn't want to fit, so we need to go smaller shims.
Now, how would you know if those feelers are fucked? Or followers?
Just by the wear on them, there's no wear at all.
Okay. And like,
'Cause
what's the wear look
your
like?
Your cam's rubbing against it. They're black, and that's a coating,
Yeah.
non-friction coating. And if that coating was starting to wear off, then you'd be concerned, but it's not. It's yeah, because it's a 285-degree firing order. Your exhaust valve lobes end up in the way. They end up under pressure, and you can't push the cam down because your levers. What we do is we take that red clip out and we move these levers. These arms move over.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So they're out of the way.
Ah.
And they're really tricky.
Yeah.
So that's over. And this one's over. And then that red clip,
Yeah.
wherever it is,
I got it in my hand here.
that red clip goes in here and holds them in place after you put the engine together.
Oh, okay, so that's what that thing is.
Yeah, that's a unique part of this engine. So that just sits in there. I'm not going to put it in right now, but that's what you do. So you have to take this out, move these so they drop out of the way
Okay.
of your cam lobes. So now your cam lobes have room, because if to get clearance here, this valve's pushed open. So you can't push your cams down because you have to overcome the pressure of the valve springs. So they've done that so you can move that out of the way.
All right, thank you.
That's a very unique aspect of this thing. The KTM dealer wants $1,200 to do a valve set on my fucking 890, and people, oh, that's fucking ridiculous. Well, look how much work it is, man.
Yeah.
I mean, a pro probably is a lot quicker than me. And when it comes to valve settings, it's nice to be on the loose side. Loose gives you a little more horsepower.
Oh.
It has to do, I can't explain it, but it has to do with how it opens the valves longer. And we may, I hate to say it, may have to do this all over again after it gets clamped down and checked again. I hope not, but.
Yeah, gotta move those guys over, and I can see it almost looks wedged, kind of.
That's where the magnet might come in.
Oh, look at that.
They're a bitch to do when the engine's together, man.
Yeah, it's good.
It's nuts.
Now, do you want that little holder in for this process, or no?
It's probably a good idea, but we'll just try it without it first.
All right.
Real.
So checking the exhaust on cylinder 1.
So that spec that's a 6 thou, which is in the middle of our spec. So is that. So this side need anything. So now we need to take cams back out. We need to move these guys over. Take the chain. We have top dead center on cylinder 1. Take, line this up. So we've got your line here for top dead center on number 1. So we go like that. One more. Where's our line? There's our line. So that's in line with this.
Okay.
We want it to be, that mark to be parallel with the top of the head. So that's perfect. So now I'm going to take my other intake cam. We got our line here, the straight line. Grab our cam chain. Keeping this taut. Now I need some really good light right in here. There's my line. So I've got to get that in there. My 2 lines need to be lined up. So just about like that. Let's see if we get lucky. I think I want to try going notch that way. Okay, so there's our 2 lines.
All right.
Right there. We should be good. But on the parts manual, there's a screen somewhere in here. I wonder if that's a screen. Doesn't it look like screen material in there? Along the side?
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you're saying. And the screen, what's the purpose of the screen?
I don't know. I just noticed it in the parts fish. And it mentioned in the repair manual to make sure it's clean.
So it's that little rubber thing there.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to come out real easily.
Oh, look at that little fucking thing.
Never heard of it. But it's mint. That's a screen for the oil feed. It's a screen for the oil feed to your cams. So I suspect if you have failed cams, you should probably look at that screen. This shooby dooby right here has to be lined up.
Okay.
Not too hard to do. Looks good, eh?
Yeah.
Still want to try to get one more tooth over just to see what it looks like.
Yeah. If I hold
If you
this
can-
cam down,
Yeah,
does that
hold
help?
the cam down, that'll
Okay.
help. So that's way too much. It's obviously not good. There's our next tooth. That's good. Okay.
Alright. That whole thing was to line up that balancer shaft so that line
Line is
there.
parallel with the parallel-ish.
Parallel.
I went one tooth both ways and it was off. Now it's close.
Okay.
I can't get any closer. And when we put the cam chain tensioner in,
Yeah.
it'll probably move it even that little bit more.
Okay.
This thing's pretty precise. So we'll crank this down, and unfortunately we will remeasure everything. Because I have a nagging thought in my head about this having to do some things there.
Mm-hmm.
But I also will admit that I lost my thought on the math, and I put the wrong tune in at one point, and I had to really start over again. Actually, I think I started over twice. So we tighten this from the inside out, right?
Okay, from the inside out.
spreading the load. Because my handsome assistant screwed them in for me.
Yeah, got him down a little bit.
Not just a fucking booth, babe. You
Yeah.
also think you're a header. This one, I can do.
Didn't see that one hidden all the way over there.
I can, because I have a lot of light, man.
Right on.
I have a lot of light. We'll put the non-dirty one on here.
Okay. 18 by 2.
Then
So
there'll be a
somewhere-
bigger one for here, which we don't really have to replace. Do you have this one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's replace it.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. This is important. This is what not many people have filmed. This is your spring-loaded hydraulically, or spring-loaded cam chain tensioner, and I think it does use oil pressure also. But we collapse it to here, which is about the thickness of a washer if you lay it down and compress it, blah, blah, blah. So then we take this, we tighten her down. And this is what they don't show in the manual properly, and I don't see many people showing it on the internet. We tighten that down. We should torque it to spec, but we'll do that after. As long as it's seated. And I'll take the tool. First I tried that one, let's try this one.
There you go.
There you go. So now it's clicked in. You gotta push really hard, you gotta hear that click. Now your chain's tight.
Alright.
Wonderful.
So top dead center number 1.
5 and 6.
Shown by the line here lining up.
Yep, and our tie wrap method.
Now these aren't dead on lined up, the two lines.
They're not? Well,
Like how dead on's dead on? Like it's,
let's just see. That's pretty good.
yeah? Okay.
Well, we're probably not at exactly top dead center because we didn't use the KTM locking tool. So
Oh,
now I'm going to turn the engine a little bit, and you tell me when they line up a little bit better.
okay. A hair more. There we go. Now I would say they're lined up pretty well, perfect.
Okay, so
Okay. I thought they'd go in the same direction, but
No.
they do not.
no. So in
Same.
my experience, I've played. It's probably, well, we have to make sure, but we'll look in here in this, make sure that slot's lined up at top dead center too.
Okay.
I will tell you what reading I get. So I'm on the intake outer valve.
Okay.
I have 5 thou. What does our piece of paper say?
Intake. That 5
5 thou. Yeah. So that's me double checking now that we've clamped it down.
Okay.
Because that can change your readings a little bit. So we are good to go. Okay, so we get 6 there. That's what it's supposed to be. Next, we're going to set the crank to top dead center on number 2.
Okay.
So you're going to push that screwdriver in, not right now. Wait till I'm
Okay.
past that slot that we're on.
Okay.
And I turn the engine counterclockwise. So let me get past that slot. Now you should be able to start pushing on that screwdriver.
Okay.
And you're going to feel, we're going to watch number 2 come to top dead center, and you should be able to push the screwdriver in at about the same time.
Oh, there it is.
You're locked. Okay. So there should be 2 round dots on the cams. Now, unless we got to go a full revolution yet. I don't see any dots.
No, me either. I see
Okay,
no
so we're going to
dots.
go another revolution. So take that
Okay.
screwdriver.
Screwdriver is out. Screwdriver. And
And we should hit. It should catch.
yep,
Right.
just one in.
Okay. So do we see any dots on the timing?
Yep,
Here.
2 dots.
Okay.
There they
They
are.
should be lined up. Yes, they are. This is where these 2 levers have to get slid over. There's the lever. And I'm going to get this tool in here. I don't think the tool, well, maybe the tool will work. But you almost have to use your finger because you have to make it kind of move. It's really not easy. It needs to. So this one right here needs to slide over. And we almost have to, I think we almost have to lift it at the same time, which is difficult to do. And then we lock it in with this KTM fixture thing right here. It only goes one way, I think. In fact, I know it only goes one way. That's it.
Yeah.
We'll go in there with our bore scope. So that's got that in there. And then on this side, same thing. It's locked in. That's what holds the cam lever over.
Nice. And from the inside out, you say?
Yeah, always torque from the inside out.
Time for the plugs. New plugs. It's on the old vacuum hose trick.
Yeah. It grips just enough to seat the spark plug, but the rubber stuff's better because it flexes better.
Yeah. Vacuum hose on it.
What I like about the vacuum hose trick is it doesn't have enough grip to fuck threads up, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't get it started right, the plug doesn't go in, or it doesn't even start. It doesn't have enough strength. So you can slide the that on.
Okay. Just put it on dry, no luber in it.
Yeah. They seem to go in pretty easily, actually.
Alright.
You just gotta push firmly on it and twist at the same time.
Like that.
Yep.
Click.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. My 1090's the same like that. This might be fun when we put it in.
Oh, so it's just silicone?
Yeah, this is 732 Dow Corning. It's kind of a silicone. I think it's non-hardening. I don't really like having to use silicone, but I think it's going to make our life a little bit better in this case. Since that cover is hard to get in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we should be able to drop it down anytime here. Silicone covers. The gasket looks good everywhere. Sure does.
So
I gotta
tighten
do
down
this.
the cam chain tensioner. Put that guy back in.
Yep. And that guy back in, and
So torque that. Torque those.
we need to torque the valve covers, and I've got the torque spec.
Now the process of getting everything back together.
Yep. Good thing or a bad thing, we're about to find out.
Yeah.
You open your fuel taps.
Yeah.
Start. Hopefully I got the timing right. Timing's right. Yeah. Didn't sound good at first.
There you have it. There's the speed 90 cam being changed. Oh, dead end. Maybe not. See? The 890 wins again. So we did make a few mistakes in there, obviously, and we found them all out before we got it completely back together anyway. And as you can see, the bike's running great. Like, this thing gets off. If you like riding videos, I'm going to be doing a lot more of those. I'm going to go explore Ontario soon. And like I say, I'm going to have that big trip. Hopefully it all comes together. I'm feeling positive about it. I'll leave from Toronto and ride off-road. Other than blasting out of Toronto and into the US, I'm going to be riding off-road for pretty well the whole thing. All the way into Mexico, do Copper Canyon. On the way there, going to do a bunch of the BVRs. And about almost half of the TAT. So it should be good. And I'll be throwing up little clips of past rides until then. Mostly short. You can go back in my videos, give my stuff I got into. It's all been just riding, first person stuff over top of music. I'm gonna try and improve my filming skills, editing skills, get better at narrating, not so many ums and ahs. And hopefully you guys like it. And I'll see you on the next one.